20 minutes, change clothes. I had a meal before the label. Just as long as they know.
What is up, guys? SlumpTV here. Today on Sports Fan Entertainment, I will be going over why enough is enough and why the NCAA needs to compensate their Division I athletes. College athletes have two labels: student athlete and amateur. Those two labels were given to them by the NCAA themselves. Now, the NCAA is going to at least profit $850 million per year until the year 2024. And in 2015, they made a profit of $915 million. Would it make sense for a company of that magnitude not pay its money makers themselves? No, it doesn't make sense. Would it make sense if Microsoft would only pay its executives and not the coders, the people who actually develop the products themselves? Absolutely not. Now, Forbes magazine estimates that college athletes put in at least 43.3 hours a week into the sport itself. That's not including the schoolwork. So in my opinion, that is longer than the average American work week. Why aren't these kids getting paid? Now, according to Richard Sherman, athletics comes first when you're on scholarship to play a sport at a school. Okay, schools takes the back seat. Now, when it comes to setting up your schedule, you have to set it up around the football meetings and practices and stuff like that. So obviously, the student athlete label is already misleading. They're athletes first, then students, okay? Sometimes they even have to switch their intended major. They really don't even have a choice. Michael Bennett also gave his input, and his input is extremely valid. I agree with him completely. He said how the NCAA is basically set up is like him owning a restaurant and paying his employees to buy a burger. Would that make sense? Absolutely not. You're obviously there to make money for the NCAA and the school itself. Schoolwork takes a backseat, alright? You're not there. Now, there's a rough estimate that there are at least 50 walk-ons for the football teams come spring rosters. And essentially, players are paying to play. They're not getting nothing in return, and the NCAA forbids schools to pay them. Now, every single athletic program has a cap of scholarships that they're able to give out. So they're already limiting the resources that student athletes can receive from the NCAA and the schools themselves. One of my friends, he was a sought-after track and field athlete, okay? And he had 10 different schools offer him half scholarships. Not a single one was able to offer him a full scholarship because they had to get other recruits, right? So clearly, this system is rigged towards the success of the schools, profit-wise and revenue-wise, as well as even the coaches. Now, this table right here shows the total earnings from the major football programs across the country. At number one, we have Texas. Texas hasn't been good in a while, but still, they're bringing in a ton of cash. The average Texas player was worth $567,000 in the year 2015. And as we know, they obviously didn't get a lick of that. All they got was that scholarship that some of them barely even used because they had to go into some stupid majors because their coaches forced them into it. And guess what, guys? The average college football coach Division I is making $3.2 million a year, okay? Leading the charge, we have Jim Harbaugh. They say this sport is an amateur sport, but when Jim was in San Francisco coaching the Niners, he was only making $5 million. Now, coaching Michigan, he's making $9 million. Is it fair when these average coaches are getting paid $3.2 million? And the former UConn star, the guy who won them the March Madness tournament, Shabazz Napier, came out with this statement in 2014, basically after they won, claiming that sometimes I went to bed starving. Does that make sense to you? Absolutely. But think about the guys who are less fortunate. About 86% of college athletes live below the poverty level, okay? It is not a good look at all for the NCAA to just be sliding them these meal waivers. Because imagine if they're coming back from an away game and they need food, but the cafeteria is closed. It's a bad look. Even some other current professional athletes have shown their displeasure with how the NCAA is treating their college athletes. For example, look at these tweets Derek Carr and Joshua Perry posted in the exact same day, January 10th. Read it. I'm telling you, man, every single person that has been a college athlete realizes how messed up the system. Now, you might be like, you're coming up with all these negative words, your solution. Well, my solution is very simple. You know that profit of $850 million plus per year the NCAA makes, instead of dividing that by giving 95% of that to the Division I programs themselves, divide that by the number of Division I athletes and send a stipend their way. That way, college athletes will be fairly paid. Each one will be getting the exact same amount. No college athlete will be lured in from a college that makes a ton of money like Texas. That way, it's all is well and all is fair, okay? So yeah, the college, like the Division I programs, the schools themselves, they already make their own money. Let them keep their own money. You guys should be paying them since you're the non-profit organization. So yeah, with that being said, guys, you've been watching SlumpTV on Sports Fan Entertainment. Let me hear your side to this down below in the comment section. Let me hear your thoughts, your opinions. So yeah, subscribe to SlumpTV, subscribe to Sports Fan Entertainment. Leave a like on the video. That's been it, guys. Peace out.